Hello, good day everyone. Welcome to this session about the basics of AI and NLP. This is going to be a quick introductory sessions about what AI is and what NLP is and how we can engage or utilize some of these technologies. So basically this session or the tutorial in general will try to cover relevant issues, topics around AI, machine learning, and NLP with less technical jargons. The focus is basically to simplify the topics and lower the entry barrier, noting that we have lots of AI-enabled technologies. We engage with this technology. There are lots of things happening around AI, lots of news, lots of services and applications that are powered by AI. So the essence here is not to elevate someone to master level, but to have a decent understanding of what this technology is, how you can utilize it, and also when hearing any discussion about these AI technologies and AI-enabled applications, at least you have some understanding of what it is and some relevant topics to relate with. So we'll focus on simplifying it to have less technical jargons, and hopefully it will kickstart or ignite your passion for brighter future in AI, or even explore how you can utilize this technology in your day-to-day life, or just for the sake of this curiosity of knowledge acquisition. So basically this session will be conducted around these basic stages. First will be around some discussion about theoretical concepts, topics, and then we'll see some basic hands-on examples using some data sets to demonstrate how some of the models that have been developed and how some of the basic principles or the first models, the classical models have been built, how we actually engage with data. So by understanding this basic understanding of these models, we'll be able to have a better or bigger picture of how all these technologies around AI, NLP have been actually been deployed or are actually being deployed. Right, and we have some sort of Q&A sessions. We have either a live session or based on the questions that will be posted through the comment section, and then we'll try to review how the process is actually going, and then try to revise what sort of theoretical discussions to include, and then move on to the practical sessions and then the Q&A questions. So this is sort of loop that we will look into in trying to adjust the content and make it better, right? So basic questions before moving on to what AI is, since we are well familiar with this. So as mentioned earlier, you might have come across these technologies in one way or the other, but can you remember, or have you ever wondered how your phone seems to know what you are interested in? Or how about a website that you have actually visited, or suggesting a product to you, or word completion in your phone, or even your phone trying to remember or to remind you about some memories or some instances that have happened in the past, and then try to share that with you. All these are basic examples, but you might come across similar incidences here. All these are as a result of AI that have been trained, observing the patterns of your interaction, the data that you have been engaging with, analyzing and processing the data, and and refining the main output for you to read or to make sense out of it, right? So this AI is not some sort of scary robot that will take over the world or try to displace us or try to cause some societal issues, because it's something that could be contained, right? So this example, this actual robot was AI generated, was generated by AI. So it might look scary, but not at all a real robot, but a robot that was generated by AI. So it is not the sort of Terminator we tend to talk about, the doomsday that AI will result in that. It's actually a computer program that can learn, this is the key part, and improve over time. So this is where the sort of the artificial, the intelligence aspect is, because it is man-made. We humans develop this technology, so hence the artificial aspect of it, but it has the ability or capability of learning and also making improvement over time. These are the things that are missing in the traditional software development in programming, because all the things that we do in the past are deterministic. You have a set of code that execute over time, and the output is expected to remain the same irrespective of what the time it takes to develop the code. But with AI, it has the power of learning, it has the power of improving over time. So it is not always the case that we will be able to tell what is going to happen. This is also one of the contentious issues and some concern around that. We will have some discussion around that issue as well. And AI can help us with all sorts of things, in recommendations which we have already talked about, website, e-commerce site, is it movies, is it shopping, is it product that you're buying, is it on online social networks. There are you encounter lots of recommendations. You're recommending friends, recommending services, recommending shops for you, so many things. Depending on what sort of content you engage with, you will encounter this sort of recommendations in different format. AI can help in improving, and it is actually applied in healthcare, different domains, judiciary, in e-commerce, in education, protecting the environment. There are lots of application areas of AI that the AI has been deployed, as you can attest in your day-to-day engagement with some of these technologies. Right? So you can view the AI as a smart learning assistant, something that can help you improve and facilitate to make you more efficient, depending on how you utilize it. And one key thing with these technologies, the more you use or deploy them, the better it understands your needs and preferences. Because as you engage with these models, you keep generating data, and the data will be used to train whatever model is beneath the process. So the training will happen as you interact with the model, and based on new data points, based on new insight, then the model will keep improving and making it more personalized for your interaction. Right? So the learning aspect of it, so this AI is nothing but a computer program that has been designed to be able to learn and to improve over time, right? But it doesn't have a brain like ours, like the organic material brain that is attributed to the intelligence and learning in humans. But it can process information and learn from the patterns in the data. So the key here is the data, and also the ability to learn from the data and process the data, make sense out of the data. Right, so the more data it sees, the better. This is why some of these models are considered to be data hungry. They require lots of data to train. You have a huge collection of data. That is why some of these big tech companies have the edge in terms of developing these models, because they have access to this huge amount of data. When you take Google, for instance, have all streams of data coming in from YouTube, Google search, cloud environment, all the sources of data collection that Google can harvest that and make intelligent decisions based on that. And also the generative AIs that we have been witnessing now, they all rely on huge amount of data from different sources to be able to make intelligent decisions and identify patterns. And also AI can help in pattern recognition and also in making predictions as well. So as we have seen earlier, there are lots of applications of this in healthcare, in making forecast about the weather, in e-commerce, in education, filtering content to get rid of spam content. There are lots of application areas, as long as you have digital data that you can utilize and train your model on, right? So in our day-to-day engagement, even non-expert ordinary users, we engage with these models. We can see the impact of these models in recommendations. For instance, you use YouTube. There's some of recommendations that you see about related videos that you might be interested based on your past activity. A similar content will be recommended to you in online social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, lots of other sites as well, or online shopping platforms. You encounter all these recommendation service, and it is nothing but based on the data, based on your engagement, based on the activities that you conduct on this site. The content will be recommended to you, and it's personalized to individual users, because depending on the content you interact with, all their recommendations will be around that subject. Or auto completion in our phones, in some IDEs for those that are programming. You encounter this auto completion, and this is AI in the background that is actually processing the data and enabling the auto completion to happen, right? Or advertisement, the sort of ad you see on the site you visit or online platforms. All these are enabled with the use of AI, and it's partially related to the recommendation based on the content you are interested in, and then how relatable that content is to the ad that you have been suggested to watch. So there are lots of application areas, and you can keep track of how this, you can have a sense or feel of what this AI technology you are encountering, depending on the site you are visiting, based on the services you have been offered. You can have a sense that, okay, I think there are some intelligent processing going on because of the content that is being shown to you, or because of the ad that is shown to you, all depending on what you observe based on your interaction, right? So this sort of recommendation, as which is commonly one of the things we encounter in our day-to-day engagement with these models at the base level. So, for instance, taking this example from NVIDIA side, where they illustrate how some form of recommendation is happening through what you call the collaborative filtering, and also another example from the 5 demonstrating how some of these recommendations happen based on the data. So, for instance, it could be movies based on movies watched by users that you might have some similarity in common, and then the movie or the product will be recommended to you with the hope that it will be of interest to you. Or the recommendation system, how it works, it starts with collecting data. Then after collecting the data, which is the first stage, then try to accumulate the data, because the data sources can be from different sources, as you can see here. So the data is coming from another source here. This is another source. Then you need to have the data in a unified form, and then try to make sense out of the data, to visualize the data, analyze the data, to make certain to get some insight out of the data, and then filtering the data, and then developing the recommendation system using relevant machine learning models, right? So there are lots of hype and potential risks of AI as well, because this is common to any technology that we might encounter or utilize from the beginning. There are lots of hype expectations. AI is not a new thing, it has happened in the past, and some of this hype we are over exaggerated, and due to some obstacles, the technology wasn't able to move forward as expected. Hence the common AI winter, when there is not any funding, there is not any research activity around AI, because it seems to hit a bottom rock that, okay, it doesn't seem to have any huge potential, any commercial value, and the power of the technology is not actually what it is in terms of the expectation and what is being delivered. So lots of organizations got funding, and there is not much going around research in the area. What things turn around around the late 80s, late 90s, with some models proven to be quite useful, and then so it's moving forward. This is a history now, as we can see how powerful these models are. They managed to go beyond what is expected, but still there is the hype to some degree. And now there are lots of concerns about the potential risks of this AI system because of the power of this system. They are now powerful enough that some are thinking, okay, this might spell some serious environmental and societal issues that we need to really address before things get out of hand, right? So one of the because AI is still under development, and it is important to be aware of its limitations as well. So the AI system is based on data, and the data we train the model can be biased, will not be representative of the entire population that we engage with. So it can be biased because the data we use in training the model, and the models rely on the data that it has been trained on. It can't go beyond the data that it has seen. It will extrapolate, it will make sense out of the data. It can't go beyond what it has been trained on, right? So, and the data we have might not be representative enough. It might not be revealing all the contextual details or information that will make it to be fair and devoid of any bias. And as the technology is evolving, then it's good to ensure that this AI or this technology is used responsibly. And so this responsible AI, it's a loaded term because there are so many things related to this AI. What do we mean by responsible AI? How do we ensure responsible AI? How can we build responsible AI? So it all comes down to the data, how we use the data, what sort of data we use, and what sort of task or activity we would like to have the AI to be deployed in. Can we have a full autonomous AI system that can decide on what to do or what not to do? Or do we need human insight? To what degree? Which area do we need human insight? Which areas can we allow the AI to decide on what is good or what is not? And so maybe is it in military operations? Is it in e-commerce? Is it in financial transaction? Is it in stock market prediction? Is it in forecast? So there are lots of things where we need to sit down, engage, and see how can we build these systems responsibly, right? So in the past, we have seen AI assistants or assistants, for instance, software in phones like Siri or Alexa that have been deployed just to serve as assistants to the users. And also recently we have the LLMs, commonly the Chat GPT, most of us are aware of. And now we're talking about the agentic AI, where the AI is serves as an agent that can be deployed to really work in accomplishing a particular task intelligently. And then and also there are lots of interest around the use of these generative AIs, large language models, across all products and services. Recently, there is this announcement by Apple to collaborate with OpenAI's flagship models to be incorporated as or shipped as part of Apple's products, the so-called Apple Intelligence. Right? So there are so it will be applied to basically enhance services of maybe Siri and other activities that the user will work with. So depending on what area you work, what organization, what you deal with in your organization, or as an individual user, there are lots of potentials with these generative AIs. It depends on how you look at it, how it will help you with your activity at personal or at organizational level. So it's up to you to explore on what that is. So on having a basic understanding of what this technology is, how it is being applied, what examples of these technologies have been deployed, and then try to see how can you relate this to your day-to-day engagement. Is it your business? Is it your personal business? Is it your organization? Is it in your work? Or is it for your personal development? Or is it something, a side job that you like to do? Or you work with colleagues to, or colleagues or friends to start thinking around building or coming up with a startup that will be built on top of some of these models or some of the existing infrastructure that have been developed, right? And then you can ask what you can get from AI and what are your expectations of AI. So exploring what you think about AI, what you feel you can get from AI, going through all the examples, all the news, all the technologies, all the products that have been powered by AI, then what can you do with that technology, and what are your expectations, and what are your fears around this AI, right? Then explore how do you feel this technology, this AI can support you in your work. So your work, either are you a student, are you a business, in business, or are you working for an organization, or you're a freelancer, depending on whatever you are doing. How do you see AI affecting you? How do you see AI supporting you in whatever you do? So, and can you think of any real world examples of AI in your everyday life? In addition to this, so as you engage with some of the digital enabled technologies and services, how do you see AI being applied in that context? So these are some of the things you might try to explore, and the questions you might have. So if there are any questions that you have regarding some of this, then leave it on the comment section, then we'll try to address it in our next session on this. So these are some of the contact information in case someone is interested in getting in touch. So in the next session, we'll have a look at some of the ethics to take into account, and also working with data in AI and machine learning. We'll see a basic example taken from the theoretical discussion that we now had, then to see how we can explore some basic experiments with these AI models. But first, we need to start looking at the data that we talked about. We said these AI models rely on huge amount of data as well. So what is this data? How does it look like? And how can we use it to train some of the models that we talked about? So in our next session, we will have a look at